Oh, barely got time to press start recording. Okay, jumping in with some 10-0. A3, Gs. Did I look at any of this? I don't know if it was just play B4. Let's play D4. What is my line against A3? You know, I really don't know. I really don't have a clue. So I'm tempted to just play knight C6. If B4, then I may take once and then play D5, I think. Yeah. Okay, need to think about this. We've getting so many weird openings recently. Is there any benefit to doing something weird here? Not that I really see, so I might just go knight b8 and just say, okay. Does queen e5 make any sense? Okay, then maybe bishop g4. Try and induce f3. Or do we just develop? I think we just develop something, then we just go back to c7. There's no b6 at the moment, so just queen takes, because otherwise a takes the thing. If a takes, then the rook hangs, is what I mean. I'm not explaining myself very well today. Bishop f5, bishop g4, bishop g4, why not? Yeah, don't mind. Just putting it back onto h5. Yeah, I've had quite a few weird openings played against me recently. And maybe part of me wants to look at them and part of me thinks there's no real reason to. But just keeping everything nice and solid here. This pawn might end up being a weakness at some point. But for the moment, we'll sort of just leave it where it is. So you see at some point needs to play d4. I think we'll castle now. Just make sure the king's nice and solid. The bishop can come back to g6. I might be going, okay, knight queen d3. So I go bishop g6 for now. Can you keep an eye on the c2 pawn? Because like queen c4, I can exchange and then, or here, can I not take? Is that bonkers? It takes rook c1, queen d1, queen d8. I really want to say I just get away with that. d5. Okay, do you know what? There's maybe some play there. So I was looking at it takes rook c1, bishop back, knight d5, queen d8, taking on e7, and then after the queen takes back, you can play d5 with tempo because the queen's pinned. And yeah, I thought it was slightly unclear potentially. Whereas here, I'm just going to go after this d5 square. Like if we take exchange here, I don't mind that. So I'm going to use either the c4 or the d5 square for my knights. Utilize this open c file. In fact, let's keep that pre-mode. Yeah, my chest's been a little bit up and down recently, but I don't know. I feel like overall it's trending upwards, but slowly. Okay, so we do not have the two bishops, but we're slowly solving our space issue, I feel. Hold on. Hold on. C4, E, play queen d-maps. Then take. Then if I go rook here, maybe I just leave it here actually. Like queen c1 and I play a waiting move of some kind. Or maybe like I could play rook d8, attack this pawn. Bishop, oh that's, how do you deal with that actually? Bishop b4, taking this defend, you can't play rook here. I can take and take. Let's ask that question. Let's ask the question, how do you deal with that? Just keep the pressure, queen's tied down. Now you got a pin here. This feels a very awkward one to deal with. I feel you don't. That's not even a move. I can take here. We're forking both pieces and I'll take back the exchange. I mean, or just take here. Would be a simpler way to go about that, but that's very much liquidation, is what I was getting at. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, I'm not sure you do with this. So where's the move? You can't leave this. My threat is to take an exchange. Move the knight somewhere, but where? In fact, yeah, if you move the knight somewhere, I can take this. So here, Dunner's play takes. So after a takes and the exchange of rooks, how's the piece saved? Is he going for knight b5? Oh, he's going for knight b5 in the end. Okay. Okay, so that's so just to explain, he's going for, if I take with the a pawn, knight b4. Is that working? I don't see it now. So knight b4, queen d7. Knight can't go back to a3, that's now covered far too many times. I mean, after knight b2, it's covered far too many times. Knight e7 makes, well, it just seemed bonkers to me. Like knight a5 just wins the piece again. Yeah, so where's the continuation? I'm also maybe going to pick up this in some lines. Yeah, again, how do you defend? Okay. Takes. Then just take on e2, that pick up the pawn here. This is going to be lost. I'll just go bishop e5. And again, ask some questions. Wait, maybe bishop e7 was more accurate there. Bishop e7, again, this seems a bit weird. Knight e3. Okay, so I picked up a pawn here. It feels like I should have done more from this, but it is what it is. We still have pressure on white's position. This is not the position you want to play as white. This is defending out the bishop. We're still putting pressure on c3. Knight a3. I can just take on b2, put a rook on c8. This rook on c8, that rook on c8. Let's say this one actually. This might belong on d8. Speed up a little bit. I got flagged in one of my last games, so I'm just trying to be a little bit quicker. Okay. And again, we can just build up here. This bishop's like, this is a very, very solid structure now. The bishop on. Ooh. Was not considering that, if I'm brutally honest. Okay. If you need to tie those pieces up to this square, then I'm quite happy. So the queen's still slightly tied up to this. Like if the queen moves, sorry, is what I meant. The f6 becomes a threat. F6 might just be a move here as well. I might just build up. Just keep the pieces central. I'm definitely missing something a lot more concrete, but if I'm honest, I'm quite happy just to improve pieces. Oh, that would have been a thing. That's a good thing I played rook d8. I'll be honest, I wasn't paying attention to that at all. Okay, so now I'm very happy that I played rook d8 instead of knights, because the f6 maybe knight d6 was a possible idea. Okay. This does feel like I should have knockout blow somewhere. So rook takes doesn't work yet, which is frustrating. Because the idea is if pawn takes, then I take on c1 and I'm doing fantastic, but knight takes, slightly problematic. Is that crazy? e7 might just cover. Oh. Maybe just rook d4. Rook d5 even. So rook d5, knight a3. This feels loose. Wait, queen takes doesn't quite work. Okay, that's brain. Oh, my brain is not functioning at all. Rook d4, knight a3, queen a4, c4. Do you know what? I need to be a little bit faster. Okay, rook d7, so there's knight a3, I go queen d5. I'm covering this pawn twice. Just try to waste a move. Just see what he wants his plan to be. Oh, rook. Let's try a little bit faster now. Really not playing this the best I can, if I'm brutally honest. Yeah, this has been the opposite of sharp for me. Is this crazy? Yeah, not quite yet. But I'm keeping an eye on this pin now, just to see if I can trick my way to something there. Like rook d5, c4. I can maybe just take here. No, I can't. That's a lie. I suppose I have to take this. That's very all over the place. Just turn this phone off. Don't know why it's on loud. I see 4 d7. Okay, makes some sense. c4. See where I'm at to go king f8. It's taking a lot of time to figure this out. Just went out of that line of fire because d5 was potentially a threat there. So it takes. Can I take this into this one? Oh, sorry, can I take that? That's what I meant to say. Okay, so time is the big one here, unfortunately. And he's got more of it than I do. G3, King4, F4 might be a thing. Okay, so we've swindled a draw from this. Oh wait, unless he wants to give me more than the draw. Problem is, I've got no time to do this. Okay. Okay, guys, quick analysis. This is the next day. Had a frustrating day of chess yesterday, both on and off camera. Again, the general trend's up the way. So I played 3 rapid games, 2 on camera, 1 off, won 2 of them. But in general, they weren't very good, solid games at all, apart from maybe the first one that the recording failed on. And then the blitz was very inconsistent, but again, trending up the way. So, should take positives out of this that in general we're trending up the way, but not very happy with my overall play. It is what it is. Won't talk about this game because there's too many inconsistencies and random things going on, and it's not very instructive. The one part that maybe will show as being a bit more instructive is the end game. So here, just knight g5, and with best play this is a draw, but I have 12.5 seconds to my opponent's 47 or 48. So if my opponent played knight g5, chances are I was never going to manage to hold this with the time I had on the clock. So that's been a smart way to go. After knight takes c5, this fixes a lot of the problem in my position, and I'm actually winning here. And I probably have just about enough time if I'm not an idiot. We'll get to that in a second. And the key point here is although white has this passed pawn, the way that you would usually start pushing this passed pawn is with the king supporting, and unfortunately the king's entry square is blocked. And if white leaves this pawn anyway to go after the b7 pawn, for example, obviously I'm just taking this past d pawn. So f4, I don't know if it's 100% correct, but it seems like a solid move just to stop any advances on the king side and just force force white to play a move. After d6, king e6, white has to lose connection to this pawn, and if he pushes, it doesn't work. That's the top computer line is d7, and after a lot of moves, black's going to start picking up pawns. So my opponent decided instead to retreat the king. Doesn't help at all. And here I'm going to use the excuse that I have 7.3 seconds left to excuse this absolutely horrific blunder. So a couple of candidates already for worst move of the game. So knight takes c5 and now b2. Really, you just take here, and it's the exact same thing again, where the black king comes in, and there's no way for white to stop black picking up all the pawns. The thing that I saw, and I'm going to try and justify this, but there really is no justification, is I'd seen this position in my time trouble brain with 7 seconds on the clock. I'd seen this where I get opposition. Unfortunately, it's not really proper opposition. So the usual idea is that here kings are facing. Obviously, these entry squares are blocked, but because I've just played the move and there's no pawn breaks here, white needs to make a decision on where to go. And usually, if white goes this way, for example, you can enter on this side of the board. White's never going to go this way, because enter this way. But unfortunately here, I don't actually have that option, because although the white king's now forced to go to this side of the board, I actually don't have an entry square because of this pawn on f3. So this was a complete draw. My opponent decided not to take the draw and instead decided to back up a little bit. This is still drawn. In my head, I could create opposition here. I thought that somehow, again, excuses of being low on time, I somehow thought I was gaining opposition sideways, so the same sort of idea with the kings on these squares here. Unfortunately, because white has free squares, because again, the way I want to enter is into e2 or f2, and white's always going to have 2 of these free squares, and to create opposition, to create this Zugzwang, I need to limit it to 1, so I've got no way to do that. So either king f1 and we shuffle this way, or alternatively king e1 and we can shuffle this way. And again, there's no way to enter into this position. But opponent decided to be very generous again. Complete g3. Again, obviously he's thinking, what's now 9.5 seconds to 3.5. He's probably thinking, I just need to flag him with a pawn on the board, and he wins. Not going to go down every line here because there are quite a few, but the important thing is not to take. So I think this is actually a draw. It is. Thank you, computer. because down this line, although white is capturing these pawns, black's got enough time to come over and capture the 2 white pawns as well. So this would be a way to draw. So instead, we just play a waiting move. H4, maybe one last try, but it doesn't work after taking, and won't go down every line. But you'll see that the computer is giving black winning in all these variations here. So just we'll trust the computer on that one. But creating this opposition now where white plays a move, okay, fantastic. And again, if the king moves away, we are coming in and we're going to gain this free pawn. So he tries to waste the move. Does he play this again? He plays king g2, so this way again opposition. But even if he uh, plays h4 here, I'm still winning because we can play king d3, king f1 for example, king e3, king g2, and we have the same as in the game, and there's no way to defend this pawn. So very happy to see this, and yeah, with 2 seconds on the clock, obviously my opponent flagged first, but even with 2 seconds on the clock, I do have probably enough time to queen this pawn, and hopefully 2 seconds clock with the bullet chess that I've been playing, hopefully enough time. With the mouse, you never know, but I would feel pretty confident here. But yeah, very up and down game, very, very, I don't know the word, but humbling at how my play's been just very inconsistent. So I need to really work on it. And I think part of it is doing other things, studying for my wine exam and dealing with other things personally. So it's like not really focusing on the chess. But yeah, like I say, we're trending up the way. So let's take a positive from all this negative and say we're trending upwards, and hopefully that trend continues. But thanks a lot for watching, guys.